What it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome to the Cheat True Podcast with your boy Justin J. Will, whatever you want to call him. Hope everybody's doing well out there, man, on this Tuesday evening. It's Tuesday night. Yes, I decided to put an episode out on Tuesday night because I saw a story earlier that I want to talk about dealing with one of my favorite rookies coming into the season, Antonio Callaway. So I wanted to get into that, man. First of all, I hope you guys doing well, like I said. And if you haven't checked out the episode that dropped earlier, you should go back and check out that episode. Because in that episode, I am talking about the trash can. Jalen Hurts, quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Talking about him and his comments about the whole quarterback situation and how he's dissatisfied with the coaches. Talking about Kelvin Benjamin throwing shots at Cam Newton. And I touch on T.O.'s Hall of Fame speech over the weekend. But, man, let's get into Antonio Callaway. So, if you've been listening to the podcast for a minute, you guys know how big of a fan I am of Antonio Callaway. I loved him coming out of Florida. This guy, uber talented wide receiver coming out of Florida, man. Cleveland took him in the 5th round. Now, he had some character concerns. He was actually suspended for the entire year. Okay, he was suspended for the entire 2017 season. So, in spite of that, regardless of him getting suspended, they still invited him to the combine, which shows you how good he really is. This wide receiver draft was pretty weak. A wide receiver didn't get taken. I can't talk this evening. A wide receiver didn't get taken until the latter part of the first round. I think it was DJ Moore. Yeah, I think it was DJ Moore. Anyway, there wasn't a top 10 or a top 15 wide receiver taken. I think if Antonio Callaway didn't have the off the field concerns, he would have been the first wide receiver taken because he is talented. I expected him to come into this season and to have a Tyreek Hill-like impact. If you guys remember Tyreek Hill, we know how good he is now. And we know how fast he is, how dynamic he is. But you remember, he kind of just popped onto the scene. And he was a wide receiver who had off-the-field concerns too. The whole domestic violence incident in college. Got kicked out of, I don't think he got kicked out of school. I think he got kicked out the team. Either kicked out the team, suspended, whatever. He went to a different college or whatnot. So he was selected in the 5th round, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So Antonio Callaway, another one of those Florida players with some baggage, just really talented, but just the off the field concerns, man. But Cleveland took a chance on him, which I think was a pretty good. I think it was a pretty good pick. Not down that at all. I think you take the risk. If you can get a guy like that, he has the off the field concerns, but hey, a 5th round pick, hey, you can cut him at any time and not have to worry about, hey, we lost a lot of money or anything like that, man. So Antonio Callaway was cited for marijuana possession, and that's one of his downfalls. He's been struggling with the marijuana, getting cited for marijuana. He actually had a diluted sample at the combine. He even admitted, I smoked some weed a few weeks before the combine. So I think he's already in the substance abuse program or whatever it's called. NFL calls it for the people who have failed drug tests, basically. So he gets cited for marijuana possession, and I think it was driving with a suspended license. And I don't think it was Cleveland, but it was in Ohio. And you had a story coming out. You had that story come out. And then later on, reports come out that say that he got the car shipped from Florida. And I guess other people were driving the car, and he didn't realize that there was marijuana under the seat. So basically, somebody else was driving the car, was smoking weed, had marijuana, whatnot, and shipped the car, and bam, he gets pulled over, and wow, there's marijuana on the seat. I didn't know that it was right there. So that's his excuse. Now, am I saying that that's not possible? Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. Anything is possible, right? I mean, it is quite possible that he had the car down there, got it shipped up there, and somebody left their weed under his seat. That's quite possible. Now, it's also possible that it really is his bag. It may have been his bag of weed. And he may just be making up this lie. You know what I'm saying? Doing damage control or whatever. So, I just really hope this guy, man. I hope what he's saying is true. Even though I don't know if it really matters in the grand scheme of things. It's just like, man, you know, if you keep getting caught around it, if it keeps just like hovering around you, bad things keep happening around you. Yeah, you got the whole credit card scam thing, credit card fraud or whatever it was at Florida. You're smoking weed before the NFL Combine and you're admitting it. Like, now all of a sudden you get caught with some weed up under your seat. I mean, damn, man. You know, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt because you've been in trouble so much before. Like I said, it's possible that it was somebody else's weed. It's possible. Now, me, I have a hard time believing somebody's going to leave their own weed behind. That's just me. Like, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I'm not saying that just because you smoke, you're a bad person. Me personally, I think there are worse things that you could be doing in the world today than sitting back in your car and smoking a joint. That's just me. I'm just saying, I don't know who would actually do that. I don't think, you know, I think weed is enjoyable enough to where somebody who smokes it is not going to forget it. But yeah, this is the chance you take when you draft a guy like that. I mean, it's a risk reward, right? It's one of those risk reward things. Yeah, we could take him and he gets his act together and we put a lot of support behind him and he goes on to be a Pro Bowler, All Pro, who knows, maybe even a Hall of Famer one day. Or he could end up flaming out of the league like Charles Rogers. Somebody like that. He can end up being a bust. So that's the chance you take. I think it was a good chance. I think it was a good risk. And I'm not saying that just because this happened that Antonio Callaway's career is over or nothing like that. I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't believe that. I don't think that Cleveland's gonna release him or anything of that nature. But it is unfortunate because they just traded Corey Coleman, and I think I saw somewhere where like they pretty much elevated him into the starting lineup, which once again shows you how talented he is and how talented he can be, how much potential he has. I mean, if it's true that it's his, man, I really hate that these guys, you see it time and time again, man. If it's not in sports, it's on the street some damn where. They just throw their life away for nothing. I mean, you just throw your life away over weed, man. Come on, bro. You getting a chance to make millions of dollars. Millions. Millions. Now, I understand, man. You can feel how you want to feel about weed. Me, personally, I think the NFL needs to change its policy on it. There are way worse things you could be doing in this world than sitting back in your house smoking a blunt. I honestly don't really see too much wrong with it. You know, if I can sit back and have a beer, why can't he sit back and smoke a joint? That's just the way I look at it. But the rules are what they are, and you have to abide by them. And you know that you basically already got strikes against you. and you can't have no more. And here we are. I just hate to see dudes throw it away like that, man. Because especially, it's one thing if it's somebody who ain't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Hurts, somebody like that. But you gonna buy like Antonio Callaway, well, oh yeah, this guy here can really be something. I mean, he can be dynamic as hell. Like he's going to keep defensive coordinators up at night. He's gonna keep opposing special teams coordinators up at night because he can be very, very good. And to see him just throw it away. Just throw it away. Now that's assuming that this is true. This is assuming that it's actually his. That he was just riding around, got some weed up under the seat or whatnot. How in the hell he got there, I don't know. I mean, I would think if you were carrying weed, it'd be in your pocket or something. I don't know whether he had it on him and saw the police coming, pulling him over, and then he said, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna just throw it up under the seat and hope him or she doesn't look for it up under there or whatnot. Or it really could be that, hey, he didn't know it was under there and somebody who was driving the car before him had it up under there. So, I don't know, man. Maybe a drug test will prove whether he's telling the truth or not. If he was to take a drug test and it comes back clean, then he didn't smoke, I guess. Now, maybe he just didn't get a chance to smoke. Maybe he was finna smoke, but he didn't get a chance to. So, I don't know, man. It's a lot of ways this can go, man. But Antonio Callaway, I'm a real big fan of him. I mean, I was going to target him in some of my fantasy plays this year, for sure, especially daily fantasy. Daily fantasy, just fantasy period. I'm over the Browns, man. I'm on a lot of the Cleveland Browns. Now, this Josh Gordon situation has me a little worried here. Because like Stephen A said, man, I mean, and I'm not condemning him. I understand he has his issues or whatnot. He should get the help for it. Whatever. Now, I read somewhere that Josh Gordon was down in Miami training, and he's basically trying to stay away from the Hard Knocks cameras. Hard Knocks, the show on HBO. They'll be targeting the Cleveland Browns this year for their documentary or whatnot. So, the Josh Gordon thing has me worried, but I think that he'll be back and he'll be okay. And I think the Cleveland offense will be just fine. But Antonio Callaway, man, I'm disappointed if this is true. And I just hate to see these guys throw it all away for them, man. Throw it all away on weed. Like, really? Come on, bro. You got a chance to make millions. Make millions and solidify yourself and make a name for yourself. I don't know, man. So, anyway, that's all I got to say about that, man. I just wanted to touch on it real fast. As always, follow the social media handles in the description. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace.